Quite a story.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. Very cool. And we have quite a story going on right now. Check this out. We continue to watch this. There are a lot of lightning strikes over the East Mountains, whether it be out into the Sandias or down into the Manzanos. We are seeing some storms just continuing to fire over these areas. Now, eventually these are going to scoot to the east of the Sandias and Manzanos, but these storms are moving all pretty slowly at this point. Nothing's really moving all that quickly. So as you can see, it's a lightning sort of night. And when we have lightning, we have Don Armstrong. There he is, and he always sends us some great pictures, and this is just kind of the beginning of what was happening around the Albuquerque metro area, and we're going to see a lot more pictures like this. And if you want to send these in, we'd love to see them reported at KRQE.com. We do still have flood advisories now that have been extended all through central New Mexico, and we'll show you what's going on with these storms right now. And again, the slow-moving storms definitely are an issue because obviously they're sitting over the same area for a long period of time, and these storms have been hung up over the East Mountains here for a while, slowly creeping their way to the east. In the metro area, some light showers are still hanging on right here around Albuquerque, but most of the action here is backing off just a little bit. As you slide up to the north, we are seeing some storms creeping toward the Santa Fe area. In fact, we've got a nice little line of storms just to the west of you guys in Santa Fe, so don't be surprised if we get into the mix around the state capitol over the next hour or so. Meanwhile, across the rest of the northern mountains, we are picking up some showers and a pretty good storm along 64 just outside of Taos, so we do have to watch out in these areas, and some lighter rain sitting along the east slopes of the northern mountains as well. We're staying active down to the south too. Now at this point around areas like Las Cruces, things are starting to back off, but we do still have storms throughout portions of Otero County, and some good looking storms now around the Artesia area into the north of Roswell, into the northeast of Carlsbad. There's a lot happening out there right now. We're likely to see more storms continue, but a wider view here shows we are not seeing things die off this evening. They're staying pretty active, and I think they're going to keep things going into the overnight. 72 degrees in the metro area, across the north, 60s and 70s, down to the south, 70s and 80s. High pressure anchored up to our northwest. That's good and it's bad, and I'll explain why that is in just a moment. But overall, that high is not keeping everything out of here moisture-wise. We've had a nice cold front come blasting through. That has charged us up with some moisture. We're also going to see some moisture drive its way up from the south here. Our monsoon flow pattern starting to set up. Now, it's not ideal positioning for that high pressure to be over the four corners, but that high in that location close to the state does a couple of different things here. And number one, it helps movement of the storms be pretty slow. So why does that happen? Well, when you have the high anchored overhead, what we call the steering flow, and that is the flow higher in the atmosphere that moves the storms, we don't have as much of that. We have a little bit of it, but not as much. So when you have a lighter steering flow, the storms tend to stick in the same area for a long period of time, as opposed to when you have a stronger steering flow. So that slow steering flow keeps the storms in one place, and we have flooding issues. The good news is when we do see storm movement, it tends to push those storms toward Albuquerque and Santa Fe, and that's what we're seeing this evening. 87 in Durango, 85 in Pagosa Springs, 81 in Alamosa. Partly cloudy, some isolated storms across the northwest. Good chance at a couple of showers, but the best shot comes on Thursday. Meanwhile, across the southwest, we're going to stay active with storms over the next 5 days or so, with temperatures in the 80s and 90s. Over to the southeast, good chance at showers here, and temperatures not nearly as dangerously hot as they were earlier in the week. 77 Springer, 72 in Mora, 75 Las Vegas. Afternoon clouds move in and showers do too. Same deal over the northern mountains. We've seen some storms today. I think more are on the way through the holiday weekend, as you can tell there. 7-day forecast looking pretty active across the East Mountains, and that does include tomorrow, where we're looking at partly sunny skies early and then afternoon storms. Same deal here in the metro. Scattered afternoon thunderstorms on the way. Your 7-day forecast here in the city, pretty good shot at showers the next 3 days.
You know, if I remember right, this time last night the temp was 89, now it's 72.
Much better.